Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Mothership Project, and today we will be talking about sleep training. Now, sleep training is a very important milestone in a child's life and the parent's life as well. And there are various articles suggesting various different techniques of sleep training. And honestly, it is not a one size fits all kind of a thing. You have to experiment, try out different techniques and see what works best for you and your child. In today's video, I will be sharing the tips or tricks or the things that I used to do that helped me achieve this milestone at 4 months of age. Yes, Kabir was sleep trained by 4 months of age. He started sleeping through the night. So if you really want to start training your child for something, the basic set of rules remains the same, like lead by example or start early. So first of all, we will be talking about lead by example. So if you want that your child should sleep early, you should be sleeping early yourself. Now little babies need to sleep like really early, somewhere between 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Obviously you cannot sleep that early, but it would be helpful if you start sleeping early, because once your child grows and is a toddler, it would really help if you are sleeping early as well. The reason that you should be sleeping early as well is because children are very sensitive to even the slightest of sound or movement. So if you think that you are tiptoeing into your child's room or you're talking in hushed tones and your child will not notice, you are wrong. Your child will notice and will have a troubled sleep. According to the Murphy law, in all probability your child will wake up just when you're about to sleep. A good tip is that you can alter your lifestyle and get into the habit of sleeping early while you're still expecting your baby, so that when the baby comes, this change is not a sudden change for you. Trust me, once the baby comes, a few extra hours of sleep will actually not hurt. Yes, you have to start early. Don't underestimate the power of perception that your little one has. You might think that your baby is too small and too tiny to understand all these things. Your baby will not understand the routine that you're setting up for him. But you are totally wrong. Babies in fact love routines, they love consistency, they love patterns. In fact, you can start sleep training a child from day one. But let's be realistic, once you are completely healed, once you start feeling more like yourself and you feel that now you can take up the responsibility of sleep training your child, because sleep training requires a lot of consistency and dedication from your part. So if you feel that now you are ready to take that responsibility, you can start sleep training your child. Yes, you read that right. Creating a bedtime environment. A bedtime environment is different from a bedtime routine. Bedtime environment is when you change your baby's surroundings to make your baby realize that now it is time for bed. It could be as simple as dimming the lights and playing soft calming music or white noise. Dimming the lights is an absolute essential. Music is optional. But once you dim the lights, make sure that you keep your interaction with your baby to a minimum. If you do have to speak to your baby, use soft hushed tones. If you have to speak to other members of the family, use soft hushed tones. Keep activities to a minimum, and if you are doing some activity, let them be very soft, gentle play activities, not rough play, not running around. Sometimes you feel that, okay, if we make our baby run around and we tire our baby, the baby will sleep better. This is the biggest myth. A tired baby is the most difficult to put to bed. The idea of creating a bedtime environment is to actually relax your baby and prepare him or her for bedtime. What this does is that once you dim the lights and once you keep the interactions to a minimum and you indulge in soft play with your child will in time come to realize that evenings are for sleeping and mornings are for activity. So that is how it works. So bedtime routine is nothing but a set of activities or rituals that you do with your child every single day, so that your child recognizes these signs or these activities as bedtime. So whenever you start doing these things, your child will come to know that now it is time for bed. So a bedtime routine can include, massaging your child, giving your child a bath or sponge if your baby is very young. Change of clothes. Change of clothes is absolutely very essential. Please always make sure that you change your baby's clothes before bedtime. Then maybe reading a story together or singing a lullaby. All these things comprise of bedtime routine, and the bedtime routine should end with a feed. Now, bedtime routine and bedtime environment is all very good, but how do you decide when do you start doing these things and what time is ideally suited for you to put your baby to bed? Because it will differ from baby to baby, in my case, I used to start this bedtime routine at around 7:30, and Kabir used to be asleep by 8 to 8:30 maximum. So the next step that we're going to talk about will actually help you to determine the time when you can start this bedtime routine. Okay, so you are done with the bedtime environment, you are done with the bedtime routine, but how do you decide what time to start the bedtime routine? So for this, you have to record every single thing. Keep a notepad handy and record everything, from your baby's nap time to feeding time to diaper change time. And over a period of 10 to 15 days, you will see a consistent pattern emerging. You will see that your child is actually taking feed at around the same time every day, is taking nap at around the same time every day, and is needing a diaper change around the same time every day. So based on this data, you can decide a time to start the bedtime routine. So note the time your baby takes his evening feed and start the bedtime routine 15 to 20 minutes prior to this. So ideally, any time between 6:30 to 8 o'clock is good. So you can pick up a time based on the data that you have collected. Now, the 2-minute rule is very important part of sleep training. The French mothers swear by this rule, and it is common knowledge that French mothers are pioneers in sleep training. They get their babies to sleep through the night by 2 months of age. Now, whenever your child is crying or whimpering in his sleep, your first instinct as a parent is, to just go and pick up the child and try to soothe him. Now, the 2-minute rule says that you should not do that. You should give your child at least 2 minutes to soothe himself, and you will realize that more often than not, your child will put himself back to sleep. The logic behind this is that, every time your child cries or whimpers in his sleep, it is not that your child is in distress. There could be a lot of other reasons. Maybe your child is having a bad dream. Maybe your child is in some uncomfortable position. But, if you pick up your child and he's not in distress, you will wake him up for good. And this 2-minute rule has a very good scientific logic behind it. You see, every one of us, we sleep in cycles. So every human being actually sleeps in cycles of 1.5 to 2 hours, and we tend to wake up after the completion of one cycle and then go back to sleep again. But we are so trained and we are so used to it that we don't even remember that we were up in the first place. Now, your child is still learning this technique. Your child is still getting used to his sleep cycles. So if you do not give that 2-minute pause to your child, you are first of all hampering that learning process. And this learning process is actually very important for a child to sleep for longer durations. So, always give 2 minutes. It might seem like a lot, but you have to give those 2 minutes. And yes, of course, if your child is still crying, you can go and soothe your child. Last but not the least, and I think it is the most important, consistency is very, very important in sleep training. There can be no exceptions, no weekends. Babies do not understand the concept of weekend. Every day is a weekend for them. So you have to be very, very consistent, because if you give even a day's break, you will have to start the process all over again. So I think that, it is better to sacrifice a few months than to suffer for years to come. Yes, once your child is fully sleep trained, of course you can make exceptions for weekends and holidays, but once you're in the process, you really, really need to be consistent about it. So these were the tips and tricks that worked for me. Like I said earlier, they might or might not work for you because every child is different, but there is no harm in trying. And do let me know in the comment section if these tips helped you in some way, or what were the other tricks that you used to sleep train your child. I would love to hear from you. you. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who you think might need it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any updates from my side. So I will be back next week with another video. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.